So let's clarify for the listening audience. In 1990, when I was diagnosed, I found a therapist for our family because I was in a world of hurt. I was ill, which meant that I physically wasn't thinking clearly. I had the headache from hell. I had no memory. Thoughts were fuzzy. This was an enormous problem, and even in tip-top shape, it would have been hard for anybody, but I was at a great disadvantage and handicap. This was such a monstrous problem. My illness might have killed me. How was I going to prepare you to go on? I was getting ready to go to Hollywood. I had just gotten married to Larry. There was no question in my mind. I don't have that kind of false pride to prevent me from reaching out and raising my hand and saying, attention, I need professional help. And we know, because it's worked for us, we have a fabulous counselor. She's right for us. This is like a marriage. You have to pick the one that suits your needs and your belief system. So we've told people that we all go through crises in our lives where the smart thing to do is
surrender the problem.
Yeah,
get
to help.
H-E-L-P, help.
Okay, there's one other thing that we haven't said. Now, the Powwow rules will help parents as much as anybody. Because when you're the mom, or when you're especially in a single household, if you come together as a democracy and you put together this list of rules that are ironclad, no interrupting, real meat and potato stuff. Everybody has their own reality. You must give whoever's speaking the floor so that they have as much time as they need to speak, so that everybody just feels relaxed. You go in with your solutions. Of course you know what the problem is. You're not sleeping at night, your stomach's upset, you're completely freaked out about the problem. What is the answer?
First of all, no ganging up.
Well, we've already said that. You don't go behind the person's back. You confront face-to-face first. If you don't get resolution face-to-face, then you come to the powwow, hoping that it's sort of a United Nations negotiation thing.
If you have to get a clock and give each person 10 minutes and put an alarm, do it. If you have to get a watch that has a timer on it and give each person the same amount of time, whatever it takes, there needs to be one person who is the leader and the mediator, who has called the meeting. There's always going to be someone who's going to want to challenge it and fight it. There's always going to be one other person who just falls out and doesn't give a dang. Each person's going to fall into one of those roles. You have to let each person be heard. And whether you agree with them or not, they're valuable. And they have to know that.
One of the good things about having the powwow, if you do have a quiet child, if you do have a family member who hasn't felt like they've had a voice or a dominant position in the family, you might be surprised. This is a way of encouraging them. They've got what we're talking about is coming to the table with the best solutions that you can come up with for this problem.
I don't know that there's always going to be a solution.
And I have got something so big to say I can't hold it in 2 more seconds. All of this requires something very fundamental, and that is your personal commitment to spiritual excellence. You cannot come to these meetings unless you have articulated within yourself certain basic concepts about love, what love is, how love is a verb, what it is to be in the act of loving, about being compassionate to others and to yourself, and to one of the most beautiful phrases in any language, the truth shall set you free. You have to go into it knowing what your personal ingredients are. And that's not something that you can get from somebody else. You may be raised in a household that's inclined that way, where it's encouraged and you go to church or you go to temple or whatever, but that's something that you cultivate with your Creator and yourself. And another major thing that we haven't said yet, and I think it's really important, some people are going to remain invincible, either because they're dead or that's just the way they are. They may still have a problem, whether it's an addiction or some sort of crippling pride. You can try these approaches to healing your family, but not everyone is going to be receptive. That's something that you will have to accept and find the peace about it within yourself. And your peace within yourself will come from your most important relationship, and that is your relationship with your Creator.
2 things that have saved my life. WWJD what would Jesus do?
Mm.
And the greatest thing you can do for someone you love is lift them up in prayer. When you take someone to God. So often in my own experiences, I try to save the person or step into that role that really is God's, because obviously we can't save people. We can inspire them, encourage them to learn the word and to experience God, but when you step in the way of someone in their journey, it's like literally standing in front of them in their path. You're stopping their walk. And you're saying, hey, I can take over and I can fix this. There are some things you cannot fix in the family.
And that's always, anyhow, about your personal agenda you want. You may be couching it in these magnanimous terms. This is what I would want for you, but it's really about what you want for that other person, because thing in it for you. The advancement of your own feelings of well-being. And this is a perfect time for me to share a little prayer that I say that I had wanted to make sure was included in this. It's something that I learned from a friend of Mom's, a woman named Dr. Joan Borshenko, who is both a medical as well as an avowed mystic. And it's metta meditation. And you're supposed to start by saying it for yourself. And then you can say it for whomever you like. This is the way, and it's the neatest thing, because you can actually feel productive about lifting somebody up. It's the words are supplied for you, so you don't have to worry about your eloquence or if you're saying the right things. And you, of course, always say it for yourself first. May I be at peace.
May I be at peace.
May my heart remain open.
May my heart remain open.
May I awaken to the light of my own true nature.
May I awaken to the light of my own true nature.
May I be healed.
May I be healed.
May I be a source of healing for all others. Isn't that sweet?
May I be a source of healing for all others.